Every self-follow Starians, this is the first video in a series of Alicia Online tutorial videos, and today I'll be talking about how to make as much carrots as possible. There are enough other videos showing the quick side of this, so this is going to be a bit of a deep dive. Buckle up. Just to make it clear, this isn't about making your dream horse, but about how to make a bunch of carrots so you'll be able to get your dream horse later on. To start with, you should have about 100 to 200,000 carrots. You will have to grind these. Set your dailies to carrots instead of horse XP, or participate in events with bonus courses and gift boxes, like the current Halloween event, which is sadly going to end pretty soon. The gift boxes contain a lot of free carrots and they're fairly easy to obtain. Next, you'll need a horse that you'll be making all the carrots with. At the moment, the most bred colors are black and white-gray. To start off, it would be enough to have a grade 11 plus 9 lineage completely classed up to 30. Make sure that all your class points are put into the highest stat. In this case, I'll be using a control horse. Ideally, the stat should be maxed out at 120. Try to get as close to that as possible. Don't worry if you don't have such a horse yet. As you breed, you will get better and better horses. Ideally, however, you'll be using a maxed out grade 11 plus 9 lineage horse with a thick or curly tail and thick, curly or spiky mane with potential. Because parrots can pass on their manes, tails and potential to the foals, and people like to breed with, quote, beautiful horses. We will put horses with any type of mane and tail into breeding, but horses that are considered beautiful by the players will be bred more often, and they're willing to pay more for them. If you don't have the ideal breeding horse yet, don't worry about that. You'll get there in time. Most important are lineage and stats for now. You can work your way there little by breeding with the horses that look like you want them to. I'll be using Lucy. Lucy is a control horse. She is unfortunately not the perfect breeding horse, but pretty close. And right now the best I have. I've had quite a bit success with her so far, so I'll keep going until I get a better foal from her. She also has potential, which increases the chance that one of her foals will also have potential and attract more people who will want to breed with it. People also like to breed with speed horses. The market there is a little smaller, so it's also more difficult to find decent horses to breed, but accordingly also a little more rewarding. I haven't tapped into the speed market yet, so I'll be sticking with control for now. But in general, control and speed are the two go-to stats. The next step is to make sure your horse looks attractive enough to its partner. Clean your horse until you reach breeding chance 2 in your horse's beauty. That gives you an additional half a heart in the pregnancy chance, which is only visible for yourself. To start breeding, you basically only need 1 free slot, but you'll make more profit if you have at least 3 free slots, and at best 6 free slots. Because you can have up to 3 horses in breeding, and while these 3 are up, you can start training the next row of horses and immediately put them up the moment the others go down. So, now that you're ready, let's get started. Open up your breeding. I'll explain the menu for those of you who are new. Those of you who are already familiar with this can skip to the actual breeding part. In the upper window are your own horses. Here you can select the horse you want to breed with or register your horses for breeding later on. In the lower window are the other players' horses that have been put up for breeding. On the far left of the menu will be the horses' names. On the right of that you'll find the lineage. The lineage stands for how many horses in its recent line had the same coat color. Each parent with the same coat will give the horse +2 lineage. A grandparent with the same coat gives +1. So altogether a horse's lineage can go up to +9, which is what you will be aiming for. If you right click on the horse, you can even view its ancestry, as well as the weight, height, and whether the horse has potential. These 3 things can be passed on to your foal. so you can even influence how heavy or tall the horse will be later on. Next are the genetics. The genetics show, with the help of arrows, how high the chances that your foal will inherit the coat color. They range from very high to very low, but we will be completely ignoring these arrows for the time being. Next up is the fee. The fee is the amount of carats you have to pay if you want to breed once with this horse in question. The carats are deducted regardless of whether the breeding is successful or a flop. For the grade 8 horses we will be breeding with, the fees range from a minimum of 10k carats to a maximum of 40k carats. Next on the list is the pregnancy chance. The number of hearts shows you the chance of having a foal at all. The fewer hearts, the less likely you are to succeed. Every time someone breeds with this horse, the chances go down a little. If you register a horse for the very first time, it will start off with 3.5 hearts to its name and a little bit more, only visible for yourself, if you cleaned your own horse to the 2nd star. I hope this will show you what I mean. This is why it's so important to clean your horse, so never forget it. Next on the list is the time left. A horse is registered for breeding for a maximum of 1 day. And here you can see how long this horse will be still available, unless the owner takes it out of breeding prematurely, which is absolutely not recommended. Last but not least is the add button for your favorite list. This will permanently save the selected horse under the favorites tab until you remove them. Even when the time is over, you will still find them in this list, but won't be able to breed with them. If, however, the owner decides to re-register this horse, it will become available again. Sadly, you can only have up to 8 horses in your favorites list. Now that you're familiar with the menu, let's get to it. First, you will want to make sure that your favorites list is completely empty. Check and remove all horses. Now we'll go looking for horses to breed with. My horse is black, so I'll be looking for a black horse. A lot of people in other videos will tell you that appearance ain't so important, but if you do have a good looking horse and breed with a good looking horse, you have a higher chance of getting a good looking foal from them. And people are much more likely to breed with horses that they consider good looking or beautiful. Ideally, you'll be searching for horses with a long, curly or spiky mane and a long or curly tail. If you have or want a horse with a spiky mane, look for horses with spiky manes, and if you have or want a long or curly mane, look for them accordingly. Lucy has a curly mane and thick tail, so I'll be looking for long curly manes and thick and curly tails. Now, if you can't find any suitable horses, ignore the appearance for now, and look for horses with good stats instead. Always try to find good looking horses first though. The stat I'm looking for here is control, so when you're done selecting everything, hit the search button. You'll get a list full of horses to potentially breed with. Now, select the lineage, which sorts the list, putting the +9 horses at the top. Now, we'll add horses to our favorites list. What you're looking for are horses with at least 2 hearts, a fee not over 10k carats, a lineage of +9, and at least 85 of the stat that you're breeding with within the grade 8 section. Here's a small tip, however. Lineages +5 through +8 also work. Sometimes you'll find some horses with a lot of hearts there, but if you plan to breed with them, you have to make sure that both of the parents have the coat color you want, else you'll get a lineage below +9, and we want to avoid that. People often put them up for less carats right away, and you'll still get a +9 foal if you're successful. Although you need to keep in mind that a lower lineage also lowers the chance of getting at the coat you want. So if you're unlucky, you need more attempts until you're successful. It's pretty much a gamble, but sometimes useful to know if you find no good looking horses in the +9 section that are up for 10k. If you find good horses in the +9 section, however, you should use those first. Now, go ahead and fill your favorites list with suitable horses. I'll go search for some myself. Done? Good. If you really feel like maxing out your chances of a foal getting bred with, check your list for horses with potential to maximize a chance of getting one yourself. Check for potentials by right-clicking on the horse. It's noted if there is a potential and what level it currently is below the horse's name. Now all you have to do is fill your range with foals. Always breeding with the horse that has the most hearts. I personally wouldn't breed with horses below 2 hearts, as the probability of getting a foal is too low in my opinion. Sometimes you have a really big streak of bad luck and get no 3-star codes, and sometimes you're on a lucky run and only get what you want. I personally keep the good looking horses no matter the coat, because people breed with them as well. By good looking I generally mean horses with spiky, long or curly manes, and curly or thick tails. If you're just starting out, I'd suggest you do the same, because look at these 2 examples. Although it's only profitable to put them up once for 10k each, both of these +1 horses made me quite some decent income. But for the purpose of this video I'll only use +9 black horses with control. Once your range is filled with horses of the color you've chosen, you need to wait an hour until they're all grown, unless you have enough instant growth elixir to make them grown horses instantly. Alright, it's been an hour and all the horses are grown up. Now you have to get them ready to be put up for breeding. The way you'll make the most carrots possible is to level them up all the way to a total stat of 179 and put all of the points in your chosen stat. In my case that would be control. 179 is the highest total stat possible that a horse can have before you will be unable to put it up for breeding. Horses with high stats tend to get bred more often than horses with low stats. By the way, the highest possible stat you can put a horse into breeding with is 99. Pick the 3 horses closest to the total stat 179 and start classing them up. To speed up this process you can use the horse elixir from the shop. This will give your horse 30% more experience while racing. As an addition you can use the Halloween chocolates during the Halloween season, which give an additional 15% more experience while racing. You can obtain these by opening Halloween gift boxes. Also make sure that all your horse's intimacy is above the horse's fairy tale mark to gain more experience while racing. You can fill the intimacy bar by feeding your horses or play with them in the horse care section. After your first 3 horses are up to a total stat of 179, we get to the fun part, earning carrots. This is the part where it gets a little fuzzy. Pricing a horse should depend on both looks and stat of your horse. This is my personal recommendation on how to proceed. I hope that this picture will help you to understand it a little bit better. In general, I put my horses up into the system 3 times and leave them in for the entirety of the 24 hours that you can leave them in. Beautiful horses, aka long, curly and spiky manes and thick and curly tails, are absolutely worth putting up for 40k, no matter the stat, because it's actually harder to get a good looking horse than to get a horse with high stats. The second time I put these horses up for 20k and the third time for 10k. Horses with a long, curly or spiky mane can be put up for 35k the first time, no matter the tail, because people love breeding with these types of manes. Second and third time you can also put them up for 20, then 10k. Every other horse I put up according to their stats. A horse with 90 to 99 can be put up for 30k, then 20k, then 10k. Horses with stats of 80 to 89 should be put up for 20k, then 10k. The third time on these horses is optional depending on how much people bred with it for the first 2 times, but I personally prefer horses above 90 to breed with. If you should also decide to include the good looking +1 horses, you should put them up once for 10k. Now let me put up my horses according to what I just told you. The 3 horses that I did level up were, let me search for them, Cliff, Melody and Mist. Let's go put them up for breeding. Open your breeding and here they are. Now Cliff is a horse with, Let me check. Where are you? Here. Cliff is a horse with a long mane and a medium tail. That means I'm gonna put him up for 35k. When you register a horse, you need to pay a registration fee. In this case, it's always half the breeding price that you're listing them up. So you need to make sure that you also have this money. For Cliff, I'd have to pay 17,500 carats. Melody is a jackpot horse because she has a long mane and a long thick tail, which means I can put her up for 40k carats. Let's just go ahead and do that. For her, I need to pay 20,000 carats. And Mist. Oh, let me check. Mist does have a curly mane and a medium tail, which also means I'm gonna put her up for 35k. Which also means that I'm gonna pay 17,500 carats for her. Alright, now I've registered my 3 horses. I can't register more. It's the maximum is 3 horses, as I've told you in the beginning. Now, all you have to do is wait. Leave your horses in the breeding system for the entirety of the 24 hours. In the meantime, you can go ahead and class up the other horses until they're ready for breeding. We'll check how much we made with these horses in the next day. Alright, it's been a day. Let's see what we got. As soon as the 24 hours are over, your horses get thrown out of the breeding system by themselves. Let's see what we've got with Mist. Sadly, it doesn't tell you how many times she has been bred, but I got a total compensation of 105,000 carats for her. And that's about 3 times, I think. Sadly, as soon as they're done breeding, you also have to pay taxes on the carats you earn. So sadly, you don't get the amount that's up here, but the amount that's down here. But 80,850 carats isn't too bad for the first time. So, Cliff gave us the same amount. And our jackpot horse, Melody, has been bred. How many times is that? Oh, that's 5-6 times. I'm not quite sure, but quite a lot actually for 40,000. And I'm quite happy with that. Next thing to do is to put them up back for breeding. And these 3 horses go up for 20k now. Let's search for them. Cliff goes up for 20k. Melody goes up for 20k. And Mist goes up for 20k. Some people intentionally add your horses to their favorites list as long as they're still up for 40k, and then intentionally wait until you unregister them and re-register them for a lower price. That's just sometimes bad luck, or smart on their side, I guess, but some people do really breed for the horses that are up for 40-30k. It's no problem, you can go ahead and be brave enough to do so. You just saw I got 200,000 carats from Melody? Yeah, from Melody, and she has a grey mane. Usually horses with grey manes are not that popular. So, I'm gonna wait another day and let you know how much I made with these horses. So, we're back. Second day's over, and let's check what we got this time. I did check quickly. I know for a fact Melody has been bred 11 more times, which is pretty awesome. Mist got us another 49,800 carats. That's pretty good. Melody has been bred 11 times, so that's 138,600 carats. I hope I didn't screw that up. And Cliff, another 34,000 carats. It's actually not too bad. Well, give me the breeding. Okay. So, and these horses go back up one last time, even though Melody does have only 1.5 heart left. I'm gonna put her back into breeding. check. Yeah, 1.5 hearts. I'm still gonna put her back up for one last time. If they bred her 11 times on 20k, maybe they're gonna breed her another 11 times on 10k, who knows. And Mist also goes back up for 10k. And Cliff. Oh, he does actually have some more hearts than the others. So perhaps this time he's gonna get bred more often. Well, I'll see you tomorrow again then. So, here we are. Last day. Let's see what we've got this time. Mist left us another 110,000 carats. That's good. Quite good. Melody was to be expected because she only had 1.5 hearts left. But I'm quite happy with this result. And our little surprise, Cliff, got us another over 50k carats. That's actually quite good. Let me count this together and then we'll see if we made a profit or not. So I lost 403,200 carats making the 6 horses. But by only putting 3 of them into the breeding system, I made 690,200 carats. That means I already made a profit of 287,000 carats. I hope I didn't butcher that. Well, you see, I still have 3 horses left to go and already make profits, so it's not really that hard to earn carats. You only need to know how. And we still have 3 horses to go. By now, you should be done classing them up and can now immediately put them up for breeding. You can send the 3 used horses away unless there's one you want to keep and make 3 new foals to class up and ready for breeding. It's a never-ending cycle, basically. Maybe there are better methods, faster methods, but I earn good carats with my method, and I hope you will too. Maybe you can start off with my method and adjust it to your liking. Basically, you can go now, hop straight into breeding, but I want to share a couple more things with you. A lot of players put abbreviations and initials on their horses. I, for example, try not to forget the PRY in my breeding horses' names, so people know these are my horses. I'll show you the abbreviations on screen. It would take me too long to name them all, but I want to give you an idea if you want to get into this kind of thing. Oh yeah, by the way, a lot of players claim luck to be an actual part of breeding, but I can assure you luck has absolutely nothing to do with breeding. Luck is only associated with the frequency of injuries. One last advice. It's important not to breed out of frustration or anger. Don't force yourself to get a foal, especially if you're low on carats, because that can turn you bankrupt pretty quick. That's basically everything. Now you know how I earn my carats. Thanks for dropping in. I wanted to give a little shout out to Kuri. She helped me with my research and gave me advice on adjusting my wording. Thank you very much, Kuri. Till next time.